Hi, I'm Lisa and welcome to my channel, The Southern Seamstress. Thank you to everyone who watched last week's video where I talked about some of the garments I had made with Spoonflower fabrics. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a few remaining items that I've made from their fabrics. These garments used a variety of pattern companies including Butterick, McCall's, Burda, and Ellie & Mac. I feel like all these patterns are very beginner friendly. None of them had zippers or buttonholes or darts or pockets, and only one of them has gathers, but everything else is fairly straight stitching. So let's get started with the first garment. First garment I'm going to talk about is the t-shirt that I'm currently wearing. It is Butterick's 6848. It's a t-shirt that has two different neck options, the V-neck or the rounded neck like I'm wearing. It has 4 different sleeve options, including a sleeveless, short sleeve, 3/4 length sleeve, and long sleeve. I made it using Spoonflower's cotton spandex jersey. The design print is called Wispy Trees with Yellow Bird, and it's by designer Cindy Schultz. It comes in sizes 8 to 24 with a finished bust of 32.5 inches to 47 inches. I made the straight size 10, but I did shorten it by 3 inches. If you look at the front of the pattern, you can see that the t-shirt is kind of a lower hip length t-shirt, and I just wanted it to be mid-hip. Although I shortened it 3 inches, I can still tuck it in. And you can see it comes mid-hip on me. So I'm 5'2", so if you're very tall, you wouldn't need to shorten it that much. This pattern, I felt gives good instructions. It comes in both English and French. It has instructions for several different alterations, including full bust, rounded back, flat back, full hips, full arm, forward shoulder. The only one that it didn't have that I thought I could use would be maybe narrow shoulder, because I think my shoulders are a little bit narrower than just the average person, but it didn't have that one. It gives instructions for using both a overlocker serger machine or just a regular one. So don't feel like you have to have an overlocker to make this t-shirt. It does say when you're putting in the neckband to just baste it at first, because it says you'll probably need to adjust it depending on how stretchy your fabric is. And it was very loose when I basted it in, so I took about 1 1/4 inches off of mine, and it's plenty snug now. I probably couldn't make it any shorter, it would be very puckery. So next time I make it, I will probably shorten it about 1 inch if I use the same fabric. If you're using even stretchier fabric, you might have to shorten it more, or if it's not very stretchy, then you might not have to shorten it at all. But I was very pleased with it. I really like this print. I love birds, and I only had 1 yard of this fabric, so I was trying to get it where my bird was placed, near the front of my chest. And this design, the birds are fairly spaced out, so I only had 1 yard, didn't have a lot of birds. So I got this one here. This is as low as I could make it, not putting my pattern piece in the middle of the yardage. And then I was able to get another bird centered on my sleeve right here, and then I have another bird centered on my back. So I think it's really cute summer shirt. I think I'll be wearing it a lot, and I did like the pattern. It was an easy pattern, went together well. I think I'll be making it again in the future. The next garment that I'm going to talk about is the skirt that's on my dress form. It is made from Spoonflower's poly crepe machine. It's called, I think, Gray Dandelions, and this print does come in different sizes. This is one of their larger views of it, and then it came in different colorways. So I think there's about 13 different colors that it comes in, but I really like the gray and the white together. The designer is Chica Besso, I believe. Now I made it with Burda 6357, which is this pattern. Originally I wanted to use Simplicity 9750, but it takes about 3 yards for this longer version, and I only had 2 yards, so I had to go with something that took a little less yardage. When I saw this, I noticed that it had these little decorative tucks that go across it, and it kind of took me back to my childhood because my mom, she made all my dresses and skirts when I was a young girl and a teenager, and I had 2 sisters, and she made their skirts and dresses, and one of them was kind of tall for her age, and she'd have these little growing spills. So Mom would put these tucks in the bottom of her skirts or her dresses, and then if she had a little growing spurt, then she would, take that tuck out and she could wear it longer. I was always short for my age. I didn't really have any big growing spells, so I never had tucks in my clothes. But I thought that was cute. It kind of just reminded me of my childhood. So anyway, I used the Burda pattern. It comes in sizes 10 to 20, which is a hip size of 36 to 46. It's a pretty simple pattern. It has very simple instructions. Now it shows a decorative elastic band, exposed elastic band, which I didn't have any elastic like this, and I don't even really care for that look. So what I did was I took the waistband from the Simplicity pattern and used it and attached it to the Burda pattern, which it came out fine doing it that way. Now this pattern also has an underskirt that you can add to this to it if it's a thinner fabric. And this fabric is slightly thin. It was a little see-through, and I happened to have this cotton lawn on hand, so I thought I would just add it, and then I wouldn't have to wear a slip with it. So it worked well. The only thing is that I feel like it adds just a little bit of bulk to the hips and midsection, and if you're like me, you don't like any extra bulk, but it's not bad. But if I was doing it again, I would have probably just left off the underskirt, and worn a slip if it was see-through, or I would have used some regular lining fabric, like this silky lining fabric, or another layer of this would also be good because it's very thin and wouldn't add any bulk. Now the pattern doesn't have a tie around the waist. It's just when I made it, the panels for the skirt didn't go all the way across the width of the fabric, so I had this long strip left over. So I just went ahead and folded my strip, cut my ends diagonally, and made a little sash for it. So, and because I'm not a big fan of just plain elastic waist, even if they're covered, I think it gives a little special detail. So overall, I'm pleased with this. I would probably change that underskirt if I was making again. It was an easy sew. You stitch the underskirt and the top skirt together, or you place them together, and then you run your gathering stitches through both at the same time. So it makes it easy to attach to this waistband, or if you're using the decorative elastic, it's going to be even easier. So definitely a cute little pattern, nice and breezy. But I do want to make this Simplicity skirt once I get enough fabric for that. The next item I want to share is a knit skirt by McCall's. It's McCall's 8055. It has 2 versions, a straighter version and a flared version, and you can make it, above the knee or at the knee, right below the knee, or maxi length. I chose to make the one that is like the model has on, which is the flared skirt right above the knee. And this is what my skirt looks like. And I'm going to put a picture up of my dress where I'm wearing it so you can get a better idea. It's a very simple skirt, easy to make. It basically has a front piece, a back piece, and then 2 waistband pieces. It has a finished hip length for the straight version of 34 to 47.5 inches. And the flared finished hip is 38 to 51.5. And the sizes are 6 to 22. I made a straight size 8. But I shortened it by about 1.5 inches. I really like this fabric. I think it'd be great for traveling. It has a really nice drape. It's lightweight, but it's not see-through. And it doesn't wrinkle hardly at all. I did change the width of the elastic. It calls for a 1-inch elastic, and I had 1 1/4 inches. So I went ahead and just made my casing waistband taller to have enough room for the wider elastic. I also increased the height of the waistband a little bit too, because they were only allowing exactly 1 inch between the top of the waistband and the seam, and I thought it might be a little snug trying to get a 1 inch or exactly the same width of elastic through. So I added a 1/4 of an inch in height, so doubled, that would be a 1/2 inch. So my waistband altogether came out to be 4 inches wide, and then when it's doubled, it makes it 2 inches wide. I really think this is a great beginner's pattern. They have instructions for making it both with a regular sewing machine and using like a stretch stitch, or overlocking it. I used my overlocker, but it would have worked fine the other way around. Anyway, I think it's really cute and I'm really happy with it. The next item I'm going to show you is another t-shirt by Ellie and Mac, and I'm going to go put that on really quick so you can see how it looks. So I'm back with my Ellie and Mac t-shirt. This is their Discoverer tee pattern. It has the short sleeve version like on the picture, but it also comes with a full length sleeve pattern if you want to make long sleeves. It also has a band that you can put on the bottom, and then the long sleeve version has a band you can put on the bottom of the sleeve that's kind of a wider band. This pattern comes in sizes extra, extra small to 5 extra large, with a bust of 29 inches to 60 inches. So it's very size inclusive. The fabric I used was Spoonflower's organic cotton knit, and this color is called Peony Pink by Carolina Peppiza. And this is the Ditzy Circles by Angela Anderson that you might recognize from the first color block t-shirt that I made. Now, I didn't have enough fabric in this Ditzy Circles for the pattern piece, but it said that if you were under 5'5", that you would subtract a 1/2 inch for each inch under 5'5". So I'm 5'2", so that would make it 1.5 inches. Well, I still didn't have that much fabric, so I wound up making it about 4 inches shorter. And I thought I was going to have to add the band to the bottom, and I was going to do it out of the pink. But then when I got it finished and put it on, it came to mid-hip, which was a length that I liked, so I didn't have to put the band on. So if you look on the model, hers is kind of at the bottom hip. So it's a very long t-shirt. So you can just shorten it, you know, if you want it to be mid-hip. I had cut out the size small, but I felt it was really relaxed or boxy. So I've actually graded down after I did the side seams. About right below the bust, I guess, I took it in another size all the way down. So from here down, it's more like an extra small. And I think depending on whether I want it fitted or if I want it more boxy, well, next time I might make the extra small. But it went together really well. It's a really easy pattern. Putting the yoke into the front bottom piece was easy. You basically put the yoke and the bottom piece together, and then you do the same thing for the back. It has the same curved yoke. Then you put the shoulder seams together, and then you set the sleeves in. You don't set the sleeves in, you just sew them in before you do the sides, and then you do the sides. So about the hardest part of, and it's not really that hard of this pattern, is just matching up all the seams underneath your arm here, where the yokes and the sleeves and the sides, everything come together. On the neckband, I made it exactly like the pattern, and it worked out great. Worked out fine. Now the sleeves, the short sleeve version didn't have a band pattern piece, but I thought it would be cute to finish it out with the ditzy circles. So I just did the band the width of the finished sleeve, but subtracted an inch just to bring it in just a little bit. And also the sleeves were sort of long, so I took an inch off, I cut an inch off, and then I put my band on. And then I went ahead with my overlocker. It's got the cover stitches also. So I took the chain stitch and top stitch above the yokes and along the above the band on the sleeves, and also below the band on the neck. And then on the bottom I just put in like a double twin stitch. But this pattern you could easily do on a regular sewing machine. You don't need an overlocker. You can do it just with the knit straight stitch. So I like this pattern overall. When I ordered this, they were having a sale on their website, so I also ordered another color blocking t-shirt that I probably won't make till next year, and then a t-shirt that had a t-shirt dress version with it. So probably next spring I'll be making those. The last thing I have to show you are some pillow covers that I made to put on my front porch. I have a little brown wicker love seat, and I change out just the pillow covers seasonally. And I found this fabric on Spoonflower that I thought would be really cute. It is in their lightweight cotton twill by designer Anixa, and it's called Retro Flowers and Birds, and this one comes in different scales, and this is their large scale. And I've had this fabric several months. I just couldn't decide, you know, how I wanted to center the front, and I have two of them, and I wanted each one to be centered a little bit different. So when I finally laid it out, what I did was, and these are finished 18-inch pillow covers. So what I did use to help me, I have this grid that actually goes with a kind of embroidery quilting hoop for my Janome machine. And the tallest measurement on this in height is 20 inches, but if you just go down to this line and this line, it's exactly 18 inches. So I just put this on my fabric and used the center to center up where I wanted the center of my pillow to be. And then when I got that, I kind of drew lines on that about 9 inches above the half and 9 inches below, and to kind of mark where the top and bottom of my pillow was going to be. And then what I did, and it just so happened that this stem was right in the middle, so that helped me really line things up. So then I just turned it on the fabric this way, and so I knew 18 to 18, but I wanted to add 1/2 inch seam allowances. So that would make it about 9.5 inches from the center on each side. So I used this little measuring acrylic template, and I just went out 9.5 inches and marked it, and 9.5 inches the other way, and just marked it all the way up and down the length of the fabric. So I did that, and then I found what I wanted to center on the other pillow, which this is how it came out. I want it to be different. So I kind of made this flower the center and then had the birds on the side. Well, now for the back of the pillows, I kind of had to piece those together. I had only ordered a yard of the twill because, you know, with Spoonflower, I couldn't order just 1.25 unless I used that 2-yard template, and then I would have still had to buy 3/4 yard of some other design, which I didn't want to. But at home, I already had this cotton twill from Hobby Lobby that I think I had paid about, I got it on sale, I paid about $6 a yard for it, where this twill is, I think, about $29 a yard. But I did get it on sale, but it was still over $20 a yard. So instead of, you know, spending more money on it, which is not going to show, I just made up the remainder of the fabric with this white twill. Now I only overlapped this about 3 inches. And I didn't realize my pillows were quite so fluffy, so it was I was trying to cram down the pillow. So I decided I would just add this little button to kind of keep this part down. And I didn't put a buttonhole. It just has some black elastic cording that I picked up at Walmart. So I just stitched it down really good, made a loop, stitched it down here, and then stitched it on here where I had stitched across. And then where I have the button, I put a piece of interfacing behind it because I thought this might pull it on it a little bit. I didn't want to make a hole. So I ironed on a little piece of interfacing behind here, and then I sewed my button on. So no one's going to see the back, but I think if they did, they would think it looks cute. So that's what you can do if you don't want to buy 2 yards or if you don't have the option. Now, I would have needed about 1 1/4 to do it all in one fabric. And 2, if I did it again, I would probably, instead of overlapping just 3 inches, I would overlap it 6 inches. And I think I figured up, if I overlapped it 6 inches and it was for an 18-inch pillow, and I turned this edge down like 1 inch and this one under here 1 inch, you'd need about 44 inches. So about 1.25 yards on that. So I think those turned out really cute. And I'll put a picture up of how they look on my little love seat on the front porch. Now you may remember that I also had some cotton knit fabric with that same design that I showed you in my fabric haul. And this is the smaller scale. Well, I haven't made it yet, and the reason is because when I was looking at it and trying to decide what t-shirt pattern I wanted to make, I started thinking about how much I like my Tarifa tee and how I put the color blocking underneath the side panels and on the bands and around the neck. So I went back to this lady's collection to see if she had any solid colors. I couldn't remember any, but she didn't have any solid colors. But I thought it'd be really cute with this peachy pink brought out in it. So when you're on the Spoonflower website and you select the design that you like, you can go down to the bottom of the page on the left corner, and it's got a comment section. In that comment section, you can put a little comment, like if you like the fabric, or you can ask the designer something. So I told the designer that I already had this print, some in cotton knit, and that it was her teal and green version, because she has a couple different colorway versions of this print, and asked her if she could just make a design with the solid peachy pink so that I could make a color block t-shirt. So I sent that one night, and then I didn't look until the next evening, but she had already written me back, I guess earlier that afternoon, and she had went ahead and made the design where it was just the peachy pink solid, and she even put a link to it, so I went right to it. And then she also said if I need any more solid colors, just to let her know. So I thought that was really nice, very quick, and I think most designers would do that for you. I mean, they put their designs on Spoonflower so they can make a commission off of those. So I think if they're not extremely busy, you can just, if you find a design and you want a coordinating solid color, just put that down in the comments, and I'm sure they'll get back with you. So hopefully I will be making this soon and will be able to show you. Last time I checked, they had not printed my fabric. It's still waiting to print. So sometimes it does take a couple of weeks to get your Spoonflower fabrics. Because I only needed a small amount, I used their 1 yard template again and just got half a yard of the peachy pink. But then I thought I'm going to have some of that left over. I'm going to get another fabric that I think will coordinate, and there was a really cute colorful butterfly print that I liked. It was a different designer, so I'm getting that on the other half, and I'm hoping that they look really good together. Well, that's everything I have to show you. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please just leave them in the comments below. Also, you can let me know which of the items I made that you like the best. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. Take care, and I will see you in my next video.